The Tale of the Ifreet. In the heart of the Arabian desert, where the sun scorches the sands and the stars blanket the night sky, ancient tales of supernatural beings swirl like the desert winds. Among the most feared and revered of these entities is the Ifrit, a powerful and fiery creature, often described as a monstrous being capable of great good or terrible evil. Born from smokeless fire, the Ifrit is both a figure of terror and awe, lurking in the shadows of the ancient world, bound by ancient pacts but never entirely tamed. This is a tale that follows one such being, whose fate became intertwined with that of a human named Malik, a humble merchant, whose path led him deep into the world of jinn, magic, and impossible choices. It is a tale of power, betrayal, and redemption, set against the timeless backdrop of the Arabian sands. The meeting in the desert. Malik had been traveling for days. His caravan, once bustling with life, had dwindled as the desert claimed his companions one by one. Some had succumbed to thirst, others to the heat, and some, he feared, to the strange whispers that had haunted them at night. Now, only he remained, trudging along the dunes, the heavy sun bearing down on him like the weight of his burdens. His destination was the fabled city of Ubar, the Atlantis of the sands, where fortunes were made and lost in the blink of an eye. Malik had heard tales of the city's grand markets and its abundance of riches. He had also heard the legends, the warnings of what lay beyond the city's gilded gates. It was during the third night of his journey, beneath the pale glow of a full moon, that Malik first encountered the Ifrit. As he sat by a dwindling campfire, staring into the endless expanse of sand, he saw a figure emerge from the shadows. At first, he thought it was a man, perhaps a fellow traveler, but as the figure came closer, Malik realized that this was no ordinary human. The creature stood tall, with glowing red eyes that flickered like embers. Its skin was dark, almost as if it were forged from the night itself, and its presence sent a chill through Malik's bones despite the heat of the desert. The air around the creature shimmered with a strange energy, as if the very fabric of reality bent in its presence. "You were lost," the creature said, its voice a low rumble, like the crackling of fire. "And I am your only hope of salvation." Malik trembled but managed to find his voice. What are you?" "I am an Ifrit," the creature replied, stepping closer. "Born of fire, bound by no master, free to walk the earth as I please." Malik had heard stories of the Ifrit, of their wrath and power, and he knew enough to be wary. "What do you want from me?" The Ifrit smiled, revealing sharp teeth. "Nothing more than your trust. I can guide you through this desert, help you find the city you seek. But in return, I ask for something small." Malik's eyes narrowed. "What is it you desire?" "Nothing more than a promise," the Ifrit said. "When the time comes, you will do a favor for me. A favor that will cost you nothing but will mean everything to me." The merchant knew better than to make deals with beings of such power, but desperation gnawed at him. The desert was unforgiving, and he had no guarantee that he would survive on his own. Reluctantly, he nodded. "Very well, I agree." The Ifrit's eyes gleamed with satisfaction. "Then it is done." Chapter 2, The City of Ubar. True to its word, the Ifrit guided Malik through the treacherous dunes, leading him to the lost city of Ubar. The fabled city was grander than Malik had ever imagined. Towering minarets rose into the sky, their tops glowing with a strange, ethereal light. The streets were paved with golden bricks, and merchants sold wares that sparkled under the desert sun. It was a place of wonder, wealth, and beauty. Malik quickly established himself as a prosperous trader, and within months, he was known throughout the city as a man of fortune. Yet, he could not shake the lingering presence of the Ifrit, who had disappeared after their journey, but whose favor still hung over Malik like a shadow. The grand city of Ubar with golden streets, towering minarets, and a bustling marketplace under the sun. Malik stands in awe as he enters the legendary city of Ubar, with its golden streets and towering minarets. Every night, Malik would look out over the city from the balcony of his opulent mansion, wondering when the Ifrit would return to claim the favor. The thought haunted him, but he continued to live his life, doing his best to push the creature from his mind. Years passed, and Malik's wealth and influence grew. He married a beautiful woman named Layla, and together they had 2 children, Omar and Zara. His life seemed perfect, but deep down, he knew that the Ifrit had not forgotten him. It was on the night of his son Omar's 15th birthday that the Ifrit returned. Malik had been preparing a grand feast in celebration when he felt a familiar chill in the air. The flames of the torches around the courtyard flickered and dimmed, and a figure emerged from the shadows, unseen by the guests. It was the Ifrit, as imposing and fiery as ever. "It is time," the Ifrit said, its voice sending a shiver down Malik's spine. "You owe me a favor, Malik." Malik's heart raced. "What do you want from me?" "I want your son," the Ifrit replied coldly. "Omar will serve me for 1 year, and in return, I will leave your family in peace." Malik's blood ran cold. "You cannot have him. He is my son. You made a promise," the Ifrit said, stepping closer, its eyes glowing with menace. "You swore an oath to me, and now I have come to collect." Torn between his love for his son and the binding pact he had made, Malik fell to his knees. "Please," he begged, "there must be another way." The Ifrit studied him for a long moment before speaking again. "I am not without mercy. I will give you a chance to spare your son. Complete a task for me, and I will release him from the bond." Malik looked up, desperate. "What must I do?" "You must journey to the Valley of the Jinn and retrieve the Heart of Fire, an ancient relic hidden deep within the earth. Bring it to me, and I will consider your debt paid." Chapter 3: The Journey to the Valley. Malik wasted no time. The thought of losing his son filled him with dread, and he knew he had to complete the Ifrit's task, no matter the cost. Leaving his family behind, he set out on a perilous journey across the desert, guided once again by the Ifrit's cryptic instructions. The Valley of the Jinn was a place of legend, said to be home to powerful and ancient beings who guarded secrets long forgotten by humankind. Malik had heard tales of those who ventured there, never to return, but he had no choice. The Ifrit's favor hung over him like a curse, and the only way to break it was to retrieve the Heart of Fire. The journey was grueling. Malik traveled for days, enduring the scorching heat of the desert and the biting cold of the night. Along the way, he encountered strange sights, mirages that seemed too real to be illusions. Whispers on the wind that spoke of forgotten times, and shadows that moved without form. It was on the 7th night of his journey that Malik reached the entrance to the valley. The air here was thick with magic, and the sand beneath his feet felt charged with energy. As he stepped into the valley, he felt the weight of countless eyes upon him, though he saw no one. Malik enters the Valley of the Jinn, surrounded by ancient ruins and a stormy sky, with mystical carvings on stone pillars. Malik cautiously enters the desolate Valley of the Jinn, where ancient ruins and mystical carvings whisper secrets of the past. The valley was a place of desolation, filled with crumbling ruins and eerie silence. Malik pressed on, determined to find the relic that would save his son. After hours of searching, he came upon a massive stone door carved into the side of a cliff. The door was adorned with ancient symbols that glowed faintly in the dim light. As Malik approached, the door began to open, revealing a chamber beyond. Inside, at the center of the room, stood a pedestal, and upon it rested the Heart of Fire. The relic was a small, glowing stone, pulsing with fiery light. It seemed to radiate heat, and as Malik reached out to touch it, he felt a surge of power course through his veins. But as his fingers closed around the stone, the ground beneath him shook, and the chamber began to collapse. With the heart of fire in hand, Malik ran, dodging falling debris and the rising tide of molten lava that threatened to consume the valley. The relic seemed to burn hotter with each step, but Malik held on, knowing that his son's life depended on it. Chapter 4: The Ifrit's Wrath. When Malik finally returned to Ubar, he was exhausted, but his heart was filled with hope. He had the heart of fire, and now he could save his son. But as he approached his home, he saw smoke rising from the city. Panic seized him, and he ran through the streets, only to find his house engulfed in flames. The Ifrit stood in the courtyard, its form wreathed in fire, its eyes blazing with fury. "You were too late," the Ifrit snarled. "Your son is mine." Malik fell to his knees, clutching the heart of fire. "No," he whispered, tears streaming down his face. "I did what you asked." The Ifrit laughed, a sound like crackling flames. "You think a mere relic could save you from your fate? The heart of fire is nothing compared to the power I possess." In that moment, Malik realized the truth. The Ifrit had never intended to release his son. The favor had been a ruse, a way to torment him and seize his family's future. Desperate, Malik hurled the heart of fire at the Ifrit. The relic struck the creature, and for a brief moment, the flames around it flickered. The Ifrit roared in pain, its form wavering as the magic of the relic clashed with its own. But the victory was short-lived. The Ifrit recovered quickly, its flames burning hotter than ever. It loomed over Malik, ready to strike the final blow. Malik enters the Valley of the Jinn, surrounded by ancient ruins and a stormy sky, with mystical carvings on stone pillars. Malik cautiously enters the desolate Valley of the Jinn, where ancient ruins and mystical carvings whisper secrets of the past. Suddenly, a voice rang out from the shadows. "Enough." A figure stepped forward, a jinn of immense power, with skin like molten gold and eyes that glowed with an inner fire. It was Jibril, the guardian of the Valley of the Jinn, and one of the most powerful beings in existence. "The pact is broken," Jibril said, his voice reverberating through the courtyard. "Malik has fulfilled his end of the bargain. You have no claim over his son." The Ifrit growled, but it knew better than to challenge Jibril. With a final snarl, it vanished into the night, leaving Malik and his family in peace. Chapter 5: A New Beginning. The fires were extinguished, and the city of Ubar slowly began to rebuild. Malik, though forever changed by his encounter with the Ifrit, was grateful to have his family safe. He knew that the world of jinn and magic was not one to be trifled with, and he had learned the cost of making deals with such beings. Malik pleads before the fiery Ifrit in a courtyard, with his house burning in the background under a sky darkened by ash. Malik falls to his knees, begging for mercy, as the fiery Ifrit towers over him and his house burns in the distance. As the years passed, Malik's tale became legend. He never spoke of the Ifrit again, but the lessons of that fateful encounter stayed with him always. He had faced the fires of the Ifrit and emerged on the other side, scarred but stronger. And so, the tale of Malik and the Ifrit was passed down through the generations, a warning to those who would seek power in the deserts. Shadows, and a reminder that some promises are too dangerous to make.